Chapter 54. Grant Us, O Lord. The city of Ogdensburg, like many other municipalities, has been trying to make its 2 centuries and 3 decades of history pay off in the business of soliciting federal and state grants in the name of tourism. The preparation is very expensive and time-consuming. Bruce Fulham, Senior Scientist, Historic Preservation Field Services, New York State Parks and Recreation, Division for Historic Preservation, Albany, describes the grant program. I have enclosed a copy of relevant material concerning Fort La Presentation. As to the question of reconstruction, I would like to offer several comments. The Division for Historic Preservation does administer a federal grant program. However, these grants are subject to U.S. Department of the Interior approval, and we must follow Department of the Interior guidelines, which are summarized below. Preservation projects are the most acceptable, followed by rehabilitation projects which return a property to a state of utility. Restoration projects which accurately recover the form and detail of existing structures are the third priority. Lowest priority goes to reconstruction projects. It is also important to understand that any grant of this nature can only be given for properties listed on the National Register of Historic Places. In the case of an archaeological site, this can take 2 years, as well as considerable expense in archaeological investigations. This is a brief description of our grant program. Properties listed on the National Register not only are eligible for federal matching grants, but also are afforded protection under Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. The 1966 Historic Preservation Act authorizes the Secretary of the Interior to expand and maintain the National Register of Historic Places as the official inventory of the nation's cultural property. Placement on the register makes a site eligible for 50% funding should a restoration project be approved and undertaken. This decade is emerging as the era of the public historian who has left the twin ivory towers of research and teaching and entered the arena of private or public corporations. Fort La Presentation, 1749 to 1760, and Fort Lévis, 1759 to 1760, were the keys to North America. Fort Oswegatchie, 1760 to 1796, was the key to Canada. In 1760, Major General Thomas Gage, Commander-in-Chief of all British forces in North America, issued orders to every barrack master to be strictly obeyed at Ticonderoga, Crown Point, Fort William Augustus, Oswegatchie, and all the province of Quebec. Fort William Augustus was the British name for Fort Lévis.